Hello, folks. Welcome back. I am Cute Noob, your host for this weekend, and I'm here today, joined by the dual caster couple, Gompers and Spicy. Hello, ladies. How are you guys doing today?
I thought Gompers was gonna go. But I'm good. I'm great. Excited to get into semis. Unfortunately, we can't stream both of them, so we'll only be doing one today. But you know, I'm sure Gompers is doing well. You know, she posted a lovely meal that she ate before this cast. How are you doing after that?
It was absolutely yummy. I have to be completely honest. I don't know, the beans combined with the cilantro and the olives drowned in milk was just so delicious, personally. But it's probably not going to sit well. So.
Yeah, let's talk about nutrition. You definitely got all of your vitamins in there for the rest of the day, and your tummy is gonna love you later on. For all of you guys just joining us, I want to give you guys a little recap of what just happened before we got joined by these two lovely ladies. We had what was Aim Punch versus Dart Monkeys. They went to the best of threes, full 3 maps. It was a banger. If you missed it, I'm sorry, but it was a 13-4 game 1 to 13 game 2, which led us onto the third map, which was 13-4. Finally leading to Dart Monkeys being victorious and being able to join us here on these semifinals. They are going to go up against Final Form. Final Form's score, ladies, is actually 4-1, whereas Dart Monkeys is 4-2. They have dropped a map, and I feel a little bit nervous because the maps that we're going to be going to are going to be Icebox, Ascent, and Haven. And on Icebox, it wasn't the best for Dart Monkeys, so I'm wondering them coming back here if they are going to make a shift in things, or if they will be, maybe following that same path that they did before versus Aim Punch. I'm hoping that's not the case. Nobody is hoping that's the case, but that is something to be on the lookout for. As far as the winner of this match will actually be going up against Polaris, a team that has not dropped a single map. Let that sink in. That's scary.
That is scary.
Go ahead. Yes.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't think that's anything too surprising here, right? I mean, Polaris being the #1 free agent team right now, not signed to anybody, is definitely the raid boss to look out for in this tournament. So I don't think anybody is shocked by the result of Polaris being able to make it to grand finals. And I mean, on top of that too, I believe depending on how things go for this team, this might be one of the last tournaments that we see them in. So more than anybody, I think they want the dub.
Absolutely, going out with a win is the best way to go. But first, we have to worry about Dart Monkey versus Final Form. Like I mentioned, the first map we are is going to be Icebox. And I mean, we are actually, I was just about to say, we are ready. We are ready to see the agents of choice for either one of these teams. Ladies, it's great to have you here. Let's take it in.
Ooh, going into Icebox, Gompers, how are you feeling? I mean, we did hear from Cute Noob that Dart Monkeys did end up playing this match against Aim Punch. Yeah. Wow. I just put Box and Aim Punch together. It's totally fine. Aim Punch, where they won 13-4. So, I mean, on one hand, Dart Monkeys may be feeling a little bit warmed up considering the fact that they have played this map already today. But on the other hand, it can also be tiring to play the same map over and over again. I'm not quite sure what the history Final Form has had on Icebox either, so I think it'll be an interesting matchup. In Final Form, starting on the defense first, we are going to see actually 2 Sentinels coming out from them. They're going to have the Chamber and the Sage pick on the side of Final Form on the defensive side this time around. What do you think about doing the double Sentinel?
I actually think a double Sentinel is fine. It could definitely work, but I feel like it's more heavily relying on the defender side, which is great because, you know, you have Final Form starting off on the defender side, and you can see maybe it's a heavily defender-sided comp, but having that Sage there could help out on both sides, truly. Like, you can have that Sage Wall to help you on the attack. You put that Sage Wall up on B's site, or maybe, you know, obscure some of the vision of the enemy players or whatever, make it harder for them to get that entry. So, honestly, this is like, if it were a Killjoy and a Chamber, it would have been a little bit more difficult to maneuver around that on the attack, but having that Sage Chamber, it makes it a little bit easier.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that, considering the fact that with Chamber, you do have those rendezvous where you can take the risk of taking that first point of contact, whether on the defense or the attacking side first, and then use that TP to get away, whether you're able to get damage off or not, but just for the sake of repositioning. And as we're getting into things, we are going to see Final Form setting up for an A-heavy defensive position, but with that being said, we're actually seeing a full lean coming out from Dart Monkeys towards the B site. So we're actually probably going to see a fast flank from at least one of the members of Final Form as Dart Monkeys tries to make their way onto the B site using this toxic screen.
And already, you can see Final Form preparing themselves to get this rotation in. Already the push is coming through from Dart Monkeys, not wasting any time. As the drone comes through, so does that information. And already Sarah Star being very, very reliable with those shock darts coming down. It's going to be something scary that you're going to have to look forward to, especially since that shock dart came down right when the plant tried to happen. So now they have that worry. Dart Monkeys is aware.
Ooh, and a change of pace has come out as well. Ira is going to be staying on the B site with that lurk, going to be able to take down Spite here, and it's going to be a re-hit towards B, this time moving through mid, and now 4v1 situation. Oh, right in the back.
Their way up. Oh, and they had the right click down, although it might have been better to just hit, you know, some of the shots without having that. It's not going to work out. Instead, it's just going to be a close off from air. And, I mean, Dart Monkeys taking their first round on the board here.
Ooh. Oh, look at that buy-up actually coming out from Ira. Having the Vandal in hand already for round 2. Feeling confident going with the light shields instead. And Koro's actually going to be putting out a Vandal of their own as well, this time with full shield. And as I say that, it actually might look like Ira's going to go and elect... Never mind. I'm getting baited left and right. I thought Ira was going to maybe try and save for a round 3 operator there, but still going to go with the rifle. And now B left completely open from the side of Final Form, looking to stay together on this save round, on this eco. And curious to see, we might see 2 flanking from B, from A, but it's going to be a straight B hit, which is interesting because, I mean, Final Form doesn't know that B site was completely given up. So that barrier orb was expended quite early for the safety of the plant, and now that Final Form has just been able to take, or not, am I going crazy? I am going crazy. Now the Dart Monkeys was able to just take CT. They know that it's a flank that's coming through.
You know, I don't know if this is just Forex play. I'm very unaware because I don't know. I remember somebody on the side of Dart Monkeys really favoring this type of push and going straight towards Nomia to kind of change the direction and having a lot of attention towards the spike here. It's going to work out pretty well. I mean, you can already see it. Everybody's trying to make their way through. It is also one of those save rounds that's coming through for Dart, you know, Final Form, but in the end, the spike is going to go down.
Spike is going to go down, but still not a bad round 2 on that eco for, I believe it is, Dart Monkeys here. I mean, they were able to, or not. I am so mixed up right now. I think it's because in my notes, I have the teams on opposite sides, and now I'm looking at the actual UI. But like I was saying, Final Form, still not a bad eco for them. They were able to get at the very least 2 guns out of the hands of Dart Monkeys. I would have liked, I mean, it's difficult when you give up CT completely like that. You give a lot of information over to the attackers as well, but now that rifles are going to be coming out across the board for the most part. There's a nice cloud burst to hide from the recon, and it's just going to be an A heavy default this time around, but the spike is actually leaning towards B.
Poison's off.
Ooh, Marissa knows there's someone there. A really nice headshot coming through. Marissa's able to clear that up, but nobody knows Blush is there. There is that possibility because that pick was done. Now, maybe, hey, they could get the trade, but they're not going to go forth. They're going to be able to put that wall up. Blush is going to back off a little bit more, play for their lives here. But, I mean, this could go third round for Dart Monkeys, the way they're going.
I agree. I did like the barrier orb coming out from Blush, though, just to try and keep the Vandal that was dropped on the side of Spite from being picked up for as long as possible. But either way, still going to be a blitz onto B. Barrier orb coming up, and it looks like the plant's going to go down, but Blush will get the pick through the toxic screen.
Oh, not going to get one, though, on Air. Air having a really nice positioning there. Sarah does have the recon bolt, could throw it out, waiting to use the shock bolt. Not going to use it just yet, as the spike hasn't gone down, but it's going to be spamming through the boxes, trying to get anything through a wall bang. Not going to be able to use that shock dart. Waiting for the perfect time. Might be able to get a headshot here. Not going to get it. It's going to be Kuro peeking around the corner, but that's going to be Sarah taking the pick. Still having that recon bolt could definitely come in handy, and the shock bolt. There's so much util here that can be used off of Sarah. Not going to use it just yet, but slowly inching their way forward. There's only one person left with a little bit of health. It's going to be Air, but Sarah not watching behind. There's two players on different sides. This is going to be extremely dangerous. And just as I say it, Sarah is going to be taken down by Air.
That's a really nice bait actually coming out from Dysphoric to allow Ira to, you know, take that peek to distract the distraction that went out on Sarah. But now it's going to be another save on the side of Final Form here. Going to be more of a half by this time around. 2 marshals and sheriffs across the board. I think generally, you know, if you were to see the 3 stack towards A site, it's not a bad idea, but Final Form has been gambling a lot despite not having the information to make that decision. If you know what I mean. I think that at this point, Dart Monkeys knows to expect the flanks. This could also be part of the conditioning that Final Form is trying to do, to try and get those flanks down, get Dart Monkeys to expect that, and then just do a normal full rotation. But now, as I'm saying, like, Marissa is already checking the flank here.
Yeah, very aware of their surroundings, knowing that flank's gonna come along, especially since it's a save round. You have to know in your head that there could be the possibility of a 2-man, maybe 3-man, maybe 4-man flank coming along, especially since this is a dire situation for the side of Final Form. They need to get these picks down so they can at least get a round in. And I mean, as it is, Dart Monkey's doing extremely well. Already peeking through, the confidence is booming with Koro. Air is not going to be the person that you want to mess with, but I mean, it works out very well for Dart Monkeys. They have everything going on well for them.
Absolutely, and now we are going to see Chels picking up that operator going into round 5 here. 2 ultimates on the side of Dart Monkeys. This time around, you have that Jetblade Storm available, as well as the Empress on Koro's side. They could do a lot of work with that, but Sarah does still have that Hunter's Fury online, and Blush only 2 away from the Resurrection. Would be nice if Blush would be able to get an ult point. However, this time it's going to be a heavier default, I should say, towards the A site.
Yeah, it seems like Dart Monkeys is waiting for the perfect time. I'm liking, you know, the slow momentum that's coming along here for Dart Monkeys. They know that they have to be careful. The first pick has to be theirs. The pick comes through. It's going to be another one, though, for Sophia, helping out the team of Final Form. And as the rotation comes through, so does the minds of Final Form. They're feeling the fact that maybe Dart Monkeys kind of has backed away.
Oh yeah, another change of pace coming out, a rotation. I do like that Dart Monkeys is actually going for the rotation, but holding very, very steadily before pushing in on the B site. Now the recon is going to come out just to clear that close green area, but the op still waiting in Chels' hands. Can actually push through the toxic screen. They're good for 1. The tailwind away, escaping with their life, turning it into a 3v3.
Oh, and one more, not able to get it. That's going to be an operator down. They have to be very careful, and right here, I mean, final form, once again, down in numbers. The resurrection comes through, but Sophia's not allowing it to happen. That's gonna be Arya down, now 3v2. Definitely possible. The Saladron might gather a lot of information here. It could do a lot of work. Oh, and as the information comes through, so does Sophia. Walking their way towards, but there's a slow right in front. Not gonna be able to peek through. It's gonna be Camunus taking that kill, and Dysphoric with another, a 5-0 here for the side of Dart Monkeys. They're, I mean, extremely well. I said this already. It's like you can't necessarily do anything against them because number one, they're winning their fights. They're an aggressive team, and they continuously go B because that's the weak spot of final form.
Absolutely. And I mean, 5 rounds into this attacking half now, Dart Monkeys also knows that final form tends to favor stacking towards the A site. You know, using that chamber with the rendezvous, being available to, you know, back off. But we're actually not seeing the rendezvous being placed towards mid like we have in previous rounds. And now that Tour de Force is online, however, it's going to be another B hit. Spite alone with the Spectre is going to get tagged out with the recon.
Oh, and another one here, gonna push up. I'm liking the aggression I'm seeing. Although the shock darts are going to come through, I don't think they're going to hit just yet. Chelsea's getting a little bit too aggressive there, trying to pick off. And as it is a 3K for our air. And it seems like, I thought that was a Spectre for a second. I was like, maybe it's not going to work, but it worked out in the end. Sophia, though, is going to be working their way up with an operator. It might not work to the best of their ability, especially since there is a Viper's Pit there. The spam comes through. It's going to be Korra against the world. Blush attempting to get one. That's one, but there's 3 more. The resurrection is there. They're not going to be able to use it. Try to push up, maybe get something, but it's going to be the end of final form.
Nothing too surprising, considering the fact that final form was also on an eco in that particular round as well. But 6-0 is a huge lead to have, especially when starting on the attack on Icebox. Still got both of those duelists with their ultimates online going into this round. I wouldn't be too surprised if we actually saw Ira popping that Blade Storm pretty early on, especially considering that they do tend to favor the aggressive pushes in. Ira, she really likes to almost over-aggress sometimes. It's honestly been a concern. I mean, 6-0, Dart Monkeys are looking really, really good so far here, Gompers, but Ira does have the tendency to over-aggress, maybe push a little bit too deep onto site, which could lead to the post-plant falling apart from Dart Monkeys. We haven't seen that quite yet, but I'm curious to see if Final Form would be able to find a way to kind of exploit that, considering the fact that Ira is just such a powerhouse right now on the side of Dart Monkeys on this attack, you know, being the only one with double digits across the board right now. Ira is just carrying everybody in their little backpack. Everybody else on Dart Monkeys definitely pulling their weight with their utility and whatnot, but Ira, she really loves to dive in deep, and now once Final Form has actually decided to stack towards B, we're actually going to see a straight A hit, and it's going to be another retake situation coming out from Final Form on this defense.
You can see everybody already trying to push themselves up, and as they go through, it's going to be Arya once again trying to get something. It's not going to work out. It's going to be punished instead. But as we've seen it, I mean, Dart Monkeys can make any mistake that they want possible. They don't have to stand back. They could honestly test new things out. It seems like they are, especially with this A take. They haven't done it before. They're going to try to do it right now, as the spike might just be able to get diffused. That's going to be a wall, a post-plant wall, as a matter of fact. And right there, the Hunter's Fury saving the post plant. I mean, but there's still so many players left to be taken down, and it's going to be the defusal regardless. You can only play off of that Hunter's Fury so much.
I just had a little quick audio issue there, but yeah. Final Form finally able to get their first point on the board. The retake in that situation going quite a far bit better for Final Form here. And now leaning back towards the B site, playing retake towards A seems to be the strategy that Final Form is going to go with this time around. That toxic screen coming out from Dart Monkeys once again, just to reveal a little bit of information as far as the strategy that's looking to be used. And that's going to be the Owl Drone looking to get some information. Not going to find anything quite yet. Chell's taking down her double.
That was a good pick from Chels. Now you can see the confidence kind of looming in the eyes of Final Form. I mean, another one coming down, and that's unfortunate. The spike is now in the hands of Koro. Although, it's a very difficult position. You can already see Sarah trying to gather some information down mid.
It's a tough spot to be in, too. I mean, luckily nobody is flanking from Final Form right now through the A site. But B main control is completely secured by Final Form right now. Going to be a little bit more difficult for Dart Monkeys to push in, but it looks like it will be a re-hit towards B. However, Final Form just holding steady. Chell still with this upper angle.
Oh, it's the confidence. The moment that Final Form figured out what they feel like they should be doing, it works out so well. You see Chell's finally gaining that confidence and pushing up. And I mean, taking those picks with him.
Like you said, Gompers finally finding their footing. Final Form just securing their defense. It seems like that timeout did really well for them, being able to kind of rethink the strategies that Final Form wants to go with this time around. Spite looking to deny that early peek from B main pretty early on with the snake bite in conjunction with the toxic screen here. Recon Bolt's not gonna see anything this time around, and I like this Owl Drone looking to get a little bit of information, allow this aggressive barrier orb to come up to deny that mid info on the side of Dart Monkeys. And our Ira now pushing in towards B. Couple knives lost off the Blade Storm though.
Oh, but Spite has the Viper Spit here. Gonna use it. Although the unfortunate thing is that there isn't really a lot of people from Dart Monkeys over onto the site. They're already going on for this rotation over to A. And I mean, they might possibly get it. And I mean, Ira's just going to be able to be right there to take that trade off. It's working out pretty well, but there's a lot of players still scattered.
That's really nice patience. I really like the fact that Ira actually stuck around, because that also allowed, you know, that pick to come off. It baited the rest of Final Form back over towards B. Now Spike planted on A. 4v5 in this retake situation.
No Sova util to use for this retake. Koro's watching a really cheeky corner. The moment Spike peeks, they're not going to realize it. But their life's going to be in the hands of Koro. And right there, Ira's going to be peeking up for more. But Sarah's going to be supreme in these frags. Being able to get the 3K down. A Hunter's Fury still in hand. Could possibly use it to pressure back the players of Dart Monkeys. But right there, they have it. They're still watching. Marissa is going to be the one to close this out with, I mean, the Viper's orb that worked out pretty well in protecting the spike there.
Yeah, that paired with the snake bite, and then if you're just spraying and praying with a phantom in that situation, you're bound to get some bullets off. And at that point, you're vulnerable, you're taking damage left and right. It's really tough to, you know, hold the defuse, and now we're actually gonna see a little timeout coming out on the side of Dart Monkeys this time around. 2 ultimates on the side of Final Form here. Sarah has that Hunter's Fury back online after that nasty 3K she was able to secure for herself in that previous round. Chels is going to have the Blade Storm in case she gets stuck in a sticky situation with the operator. And now, on the side of, you know, Dart Monkeys, Kami does have the Resurrection available. I would like to see maybe either Marissa either working to get one of those alt orbs or having the spike in hand to be able to use that Viper's Pit in the post-plant situation. But, I mean, Final Form looking to kind of crawl back here in this defensive half. They're really going to have to secure this particular round. Otherwise, the team won't be able to buy together in the next round afterwards. This is kind of like the final buy as a team that Final Form is going to have together. And then once they're back on an eco, that'll be just even more of an edge up that Dart Monkeys will be able to secure for themselves. and actually going for an A blitz this time around. And that was a nice rendezvous, the rotation we see coming over from Sophia here back to A.
You can already see, I mean, 3 players surrounding themselves down A, but Chelsea has a really nice angle here. Gonna be able to take out Marissa. Already 2 players left down on Dart Monkeys. They're trying to push their way up, but the spike is down. The only thing they can use is the resurrection.
Oh, that's a tough spot.
That is, yeah, that's gonna be harsh. At that point, you have to eliminate almost all of the players, or at least 3, to be able to get to that spike.
Yeah, when the spike is in that position, you're just trying to play for kills mostly. That's how the round will at least end. It's really hard to recover it and still get the plant down in this situation.
Oh, and it's not easy with Chels as well. You're gonna have to use a lot of util. That's difficult. The shock dart's doing some damage. I thought it was going to be Chels that was going to get the first initial shot here in this entry, but it's going to be Koro instead. Sarah once again taking another 3K in their hands, but it's going to be Dysphoric taking that down. Already 30 seconds left. The spike has to be planted, but Spike is going to be watching here. And right there, Dysphoric trying to get a little bit too greedy. That's going to be Spike taking that.
That was looking really great for Final Form there, but the fact that Final Form, allowed all those 1v1s to be isolated and then letting Spike find themselves in a 1v1 situation at the end was an absolute nail biter. And going into round 11 now, Gompers, we are going to see 3 ultimates available on the side of Dart Monkeys for this push. This is the second last round of the half, folks, so if you're going to use your ultimates, it's going to be this round or the next round. I would also like to see maybe some ult or investment going into either Sarah or Blush on the side of Final Form, if possible. Maybe trying to aggress to get that A main orb to be able to get that resurrection a little bit closer to being online. But it doesn't look like that's what Final Form is going to look to do this time around.
No, not just yet. Chelsea's playing for the site here, trying to get the first pick. Not going to be able to get it. The dash is going to be used, but it was unnecessary. Right there, the dash is gone. Now they're going to have to get 2 picks to use it again. Already the rotation is coming through, and it's going to be A site almost for free. I think it's interesting is the constant rotations going along for Final Form.
Nowhere to run.
Oh, but narrowly hit Blush there. The Hunter's Fury, and now Ira over-aggressing is going to be punished for that, Gompers. 4v4 Viper's Pit is going to come out, but Spike has yet to be planted.
Oh, Blush isn't going to get that. Instead, it's going to be Coral. Chelsea's working their way up, trying to get this pick, not knowing there's at least 3 there. They're going to get a little bit too aggressive, while Dysphoric having this flank along might just be able to get Chelsea as well, working their way, but Chelsea having the op here. This is dangerous. It's not going to be a site that final... my apologies that Dart Monkeys is going to want to go towards. Instead, it's going to be B. But the retake has to come through. Maybe some shock darts to use.
Ooh, but look at this flank that we're actually seeing coming out from Marissa here. I mean, they have... Oh, nowhere!
No. Unaware. Unaware.
No way.
Not even knowing. Just complete ninja. Oh, and it's a downer. Marissa... Oh my gosh. How do you not... That's unfortunate because you can't really see the outline of the person hiding behind that box. You're kind of going off of what you can personally see, and nobody really cleared that angle. So, and that's a harsh one.
Oh, I was just like... I was so nervous for Sarah in that position. I was like, will Sarah check this? Will she check that right now? No, it's not going to happen. Yeah. But now... we're seeing a little bit of a different wall actually coming out from, not that different of a wall. I think it's been switched up a few times now, but more of a wall on the side of Final Form looking to cut off that mid-aggression, but it's not going to be popped quite yet. And as I say that, Chels has already aggressed. Blush with huge flank here potentially. Might get caught out mid.
Ooh, is gonna get caught out mid by Marissa. Marissa's very aware here, though. Kind of suspecting a flank along, but the spike is in the hands of Final Form. Marissa doesn't know. Chelsea's in the corner. Chels having their Hawkeye set on. The moment Marissa peeks, it's gonna be detrimental.
Oh,
already the leg is being geeked, and it's gonna be Marissa down.
That's tough. That is tough. I mean, you often leave the spike in a safe place that you think you could recover it while you're pushing onto site, but with the aggression that we actually saw coming out from mid and A on the side of Final Form, they're able to secure it for themselves now. Dysphoric in this 3v1 might still be able to isolate the fights here.
Trying to peek through. Everybody's pretty much separated, not having any trade potential, but no trade needed. It's Chelsea with the 4K.
Ooh, and that is the half. We are swapping sides now. It's going to be Dark Monkeys on the defense and Final Form on the attack. Clean slates all around. New half, new pistols. Everybody's at even playing grounds here. The eco is the same. Alt's economy is the same.
Yeah.
Now it just comes down to, winning your gunfights, who can take the pistol round home. And honestly, pistol round really needs to go to Final Form if they want to have that edge up on this half to be able to try and close this gap. Otherwise, if Dart Monkeys manages to secure pistol, then allowing them to buy up going to the second round of the half, that would be overall a 6-point lead, 10-4. So Final Form really is going to have to step it up here.
I mean, it seems like they're stepping it up a little bit too high on belt there. They're going to be able to get 3, though, regardless. Already a 4v2. Now that 2 players are left standing, it's going to be very easy here for Final Form to take this round in their hands unless a really nasty 4K comes along. Maybe 2-on-2. It's already 1 right there. And Ira taking out another. That's Final Form working their way up. And right there, Dart Monkeys taking the round in. Ira with the 3K. It is looking grim.
Era's aim has just been so clean, though, throughout this entire map so far. Gonna keep that sheriff in hand this time around. And yeah, we're gonna see that buy up for their quote-unquote bonus round on the side of Dart Monkeys here. They are gonna go into this round with the advantage. Ira actually electing to go with a Guardian this time around, but nothing too surprising. I mean, we saw those sheriff head taps, their gompers, and now Final Form itching to get some mid control this time around. Might actually see them, try to get under 2 pure blitz over towards mid to B.
Oh, and the spray came through. No! It's going to be Camunus being able to get the 3K down, and it was expected. Everybody funneling. Camunus already watching within kitchen. It was one of those plays where you said something bad is going to happen, and that's exactly what happened.
I think that's a really tough play to try and make. I understand the idea of, on that eco round, trying to get through mid to B in that situation, because if you are cutting through mid, throwing that poison orb up, you're able to lower the angles that you're going to have to be fighting in that situation, trying to get under tube there. Just trying to cut off the long angles as much as possible, play closer angles where the Classic has a little bit more of a chance against those SMGs. But I mean, it is so hard in that situation because at the same time, when you're pushing under kitchen there, under tube, you're also funneling yourself through a choke point. However, Dart Monkeys has just left A completely open on this round. It's going to be a free plant here for Final Form.
Already, seems like they have the site. It's working out pretty well. They have complete control. All you have to do is try to get the retake in. It's taking a lot of time. Chelsea's slowly working their way up. And as they go, no idea that everybody's
they're
already
playing for exit frags.
Yeah, they're not going to want to push here just this yet. It seems like, yeah, they're just going to wait.
This is the play that I was talking about yesterday, Gompers. Being on that eco or that bonus round, trying to play for the exit frags, trying to, ensure that everybody who is able to buy up on the rifles dies in this situation. And that's going to be exactly what happens here. Sarah is going to be the only one able to make it out on the side of Final Form. After, despite securing that round, that did so much damage to the economy of Final Form. Now, not going to be able to afford to buy up, afford rifles across the board because they weren't able to save that, despite it having been, a free plant Nobody had fallen initially. And I really, really like that. I think that's incredibly well done because it's more of a strategy where you're planning for the future as opposed to just the outcome of that round.
Oh, and already Ira just pushing up. Come on, it's the constant aggression that just works out so well. Ira knowing exactly when to push, knowing exactly what to do, and having that dash in hand just in case things get a little bit rowdy. Works out so well in their favor. The spike not being able to be planted just yet. There's still a lot of time though. It's a very, very slow push here, but it's going to be happening. Although the operator's still in the hands of Ira. I'm already seeing the vision. Ira's gonna peek at some point and be able to hit something through, but somebody's hiding underneath here. But it's gonna be Ira taking the first. There's still a lot of time left, although the retake's already coming through and it works out flawlessly as it was. I mean, already a 4v2. But having, being able to get that spike down, still trying to win those fights, it was a valiant effort from Final Form.
Ooh, definitely a valiant effort from Final Form. The defuse is going to go off for, who's gonna defuse? I mean, there is a lot of time left, don't get me wrong, but I was like, everybody's just out here shopping for skins, shopping for guns. I was like, are they gonna decide who's gonna get the defuse off? What's going on? But that's round 11 on the side of Dart Monkeys. Now another timeout is going to come out from Final Form as they try to, talk a little bit about how they could handle this particular attack. And Final Form, they're going to be on an eco here, Gompers. So the likelihood that Dart Monkeys is actually going to get to match point after this round is pretty high, which would mean that Final Form is going to be fighting for 7 rounds in a row to be able to tie it up to make it to overtime. But I mean, the outcome of this map isn't too surprising. We talked about how Dart Monkeys did versus Aim Punch on Aimbox. They did run it down 13-4 versus Aim Punch, and Dart Monkeys also picked Icebox. So this was their map choice, and Final Form elected to start on the defense first, which didn't go as planned for them. They were able to adjust later on, but it took them 6 rounds in a row to make those adjustments happen. And now being on the attack, which is what I would assume is maybe Final Form's weaker half, considering the fact that they did elect to start on the defense first. And you usually pick the side to start on based on how confident you are that you can get those rounds in. So it's going to be a half buy or a full save for the most part on the side of Final Form here. Chels aggressively taking this upper tube angle.
Ooh, and this is a deadly position because Camunas before did a really good job at protecting Kitchen here. They're not going to let anybody pass, but instead it's just going to happen. Everybody's going to pass on Final Form. They're going to try to get themselves onto the site. Chels already being peaked, but it's going to get too aggressive. That's going to be a punishable moment. As it goes, Dart Monkeys trying to work their way forward to already get this retake in as the spike has been planted, but the funnel coming in, it's just going to be both players, Blush and Sarah, being taken out. And already, like you said, it's going to be match point. And, I mean, Final Form in a very, very, weird position to be in.
It's a tough position to be in, but they do have a lot of ultimates available for them on this particular round. We are going to see Chels is going to have the Blade Storm available here. Blush going to have that Resurrection online. That in particular is going to be really important for Final Form to be able to secure the Resurrection if needed, to just give them that extra security going into this round, because every round always counts, but when you're at match point, you're fighting to not lose that game right then and there, and that's a lot of pressure, especially considering the fact that we do see Alts 3 in particular, a resurrection of their own on the side of Dart Monkeys as well.
I was holding a really aggro position once again, and not going to be able to get the first shot this time around, but the ultimate is there for Chels. Could possibly use that Blade Storm. Not going to need it though, still having that Vandal in hand is going to be a plus in this scenario, but a lot more cautious as you can tell.
Oh, this is a really great alert coming out from Sophia. Still, though, Marissa has been waiting patiently on B. Sophia is going to come out on top, but it's going to be a really fast rotation here coming out from Dart Monkeys. But Sophia's just going in to get everybody for themselves.
Sophia's done. Sophia's tired. Match point, that means nothing to me. I'm gonna go in. I'm not gonna care. Unfortunately, Koro's gonna care just a little bit more than Sophia, gonna be able to get the headshot through, but it's already a 3-player difference. My apologies, math is not easy. It's a 2-player difference, but, I mean, they could definitely still go in, maybe get a couple picks as the Empress has been popped. Some of the ultimates are going to be used. Trying to get one, that's one, the heal comes through, gonna get another, not gonna be able to dismiss, just kidding. I don't know why I said that, didn't get another. Not gonna dismiss because dead. I completely just fumbled over myself.
Deceased, so cannot dismiss.
No
spectral form. Different kind of spectral form. But going into this upcoming round, that was huge coming out on the side of Final Form. They still have 4 ultimates available here. Sarah might be able to use that Hunter's Fury in conjunction with Chelsea's aggressiveness, as Chelsea likes to push onto site. Because that Hunter's Fury, as I've said time and time again, can cause so much discord on the attack where, you know, you make the opening for one side of the site so you can help clear out the other side with the actual players, and that's exactly what's going to come out here. Unfortunately, Chelsea didn't dash on like I was maybe expecting, but the Hunter's Fury still managed to clear out A.
I want a Viper Spit here for Final Form. Well, there's some shock darts coming through. It's hitting. But nobody knows Ira's right above. It's going to be Spite realizing it. They're not going to be able to get it. It's going to be Blesh helping out. Although Spite is very low. So the chances of being able to get this Viper Spit down is very high as Camunus just pushes through, but the flank is coming along. Sophia has it. Might be able to get a couple, but Dysphoric is going to be able to get it, and Chelsea's working their way up. That's a 2K down and a 3K. Just one more player left standing. Not going to wait. Gonna hear that defusal, but knowing that it's a fake, that's a risk. That is a complete risk that you're gonna have to take, and Kuro's gonna defuse it right here, right there, and it could have been done, but Chelsea was taking way too much of a chance waiting. Just hope it was a fake.
That's a really tough situation to be in. Obviously, Chelsea didn't hear the sound cue. There is a slight difference in the pitch of the bomb tap when it is halved for the defuse as opposed to tapping at the beginning. But still a really nice try from Final Form, trying to tie things back up. Unfortunately for them, at the very least, unfortunately for Dart Monkeys, taking this map on Icebox, map 1 of this best of 3 series for semifinals of the Game Changers Academy, 13-6. You know, just a 2-round difference compared to their game versus Aim Punch, and it was nice to see though that Final Form was able to adapt throughout the game. It felt a little bit late sometimes. I think Final Form was maybe trying to go for some conditioning on the defense with those flanks in particular. But unfortunately, they weren't really working out in their favor and didn't have the impact that we would hope to see coming out from those flanks and lurks through sites, through A in particular, where they would stack their players. But, you know, they learned from their mistakes in the end, and hopefully as we go throughout the series, Final Form will be able to continue to adapt, maybe at a faster pace, as we go on to Ascent, which is going to be their map pick here, Gompers. So I'm excited. We could see an upset coming out from Dart Monkeys, or we might see it go to map 3.
I agree. I mean, probably map 3, maybe, but by the looks of it as this round went, I mean, I'm going to be optimistic. Final Form has really pulled themselves through coming up to this particular moment. So I'm not really going to say, well, it was a stomp, so something definitely is not going to happen. I'm definitely hoping, you know, with the map pick and the possibility that maybe Dart Monkeys was a little bit more comfortable, that Final Form is going to be in their final form. Maybe we're going to see it. Maybe we're going to see the complete transformation that might happen, but we're going to have to see. We'll see you guys pretty soon. Make sure you go grab a snack.